Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here on our industry stage at Formnext 2023. Welcome here also in the audience and you at home at the live stream. Great to have you here to our morning talk. We want to kick off day 2 of Formnext, and we are looking back to a fantastic day 1 with exciting expert insights and fantastic events here on the fair. And of course, we want to give a little bit of outlook of today's program, and therefore I have 3 fantastic guests with me here in the morning talk. Let me start with Lisa to my right. Lisa Block, the Chief Revenue Officer of Hybrid Manufacturing Technology. So more important, you are on the board of Women of 3D Printing.
Yes.
3D Printing. That's
yes.
Thank you, Lisa. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Then to my right, Professor Dr. Ulrich Knaack, Head of Chair of Facade Structures. Is that correct?
Well, it's a structural design institute, but I'm the specialist on facades.
Facade. Thank you so much. From the Technical University of Darmstadt. And last but not least, my beloved colleague, Frank Jablonski, today representing Formnext TV, because we want to know a little bit how this is working, what we're doing here exactly. So this would be Frank's part.
Again, a pleasure to be with you on stage, Sven.
Yeah, great.
As ever.
Frank, let's start with you. Highlights of yesterday. Give us a short overview.
Yeah, yesterday was all under the level of, or under the label of emerging technologies. So we had topics like bioprinting on stage and footprinting. And I found very interesting what we learned about pharmaceutical aspects. So you all know maybe about personalized medicine. That's a hot topic since years and years in pharmaceuticals. And additive may give an edge to that, because you can have personalized printed pills. And when you are maybe suffering from cancer or something, you have to be very, very precise with the doses and the ingredients you get. And so additive can be a real helpful part there. We had Dr. Anna Worsley presenting this. And then we had another very, very interesting topic, printing organs. You know, people are really working in right now in the laboratory, but they are working on printing organs like livers, like hearts, like kidneys, and so on, so that we may in the future have our new organs built with our stem cells. So you know that you have no issues, no problems in refusing the body refusing the new organs. And they can help in the future really a lot. And when we want to travel to Mars, they said, then we need something like this. There is some serious aspect about this, really. People now, and astronauts now going around the world, the Earth. They have a lot of, or there sometimes injuries on the skin, so they burn themselves or something. I don't know what they do there, but that is an issue today. And so they probe these technologies with artificial skin to better heal when the astronauts are going around Earth and do what they do up there. I don't know.
Great.
Wow.
In the afternoon, we had our Pitch Next event with fantastic startups. There was one with a medical application as well. So as you can see, we are heavily attracted by medical application, because it will solve a few of the major problems we have today. Lisa, you're representing mainly women in 3D printing today.
Yes.
So you have a program highlight today, but please explain us a little bit what your role is at Women in 3D Printing and what can we expect today?
Yeah, so I am a board director with Women in 3D Printing. We have a happy hour this evening in the Portal House, so we're super excited about that, right? It's always amazing to get the additive community together drinking. You learn a little bit about everything, but aside from the drinking, our entire goal, right, is just to create an industry that looks more like the world in which we operate. And so we're excited to be in forums like this, where we see so many different backgrounds and technologies, and able to come to that, you know, plate and invite women in and then work alongside men. This is not a instead of men thing. I need to explain that. This is not an instead of men thing. This is a we need to do this together thing. So we're super excited to be here.
Absolutely, same opinion. I was lucky to have an impulse speech at one of the last events of Women in 3D Printing, and it was so inspiring. Be in the group and talk about the progress, because the progress is fantastic, isn't it?
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about how it's progressing?
Oh my gosh. So I think we're somewhere around 38 countries and like over, I think it's like the last count was like 76,000 members all over the world. They are having happy hours, they're having breakout sessions. They are hosting their own individual siloed events. We have a conference coming up in person. We used to do type conference every year virtual. It started during COVID and it has evolved. So it will be in person 2025. So we're super excited about that. And then just being able to partner with so many people on so many different initiatives, everything from diversity, equity, and inclusion, just kind of really welcoming people in to kind of show up fully as themselves so that we can be as innovative in our people as we are our technologies. So we're excited about that.
And do you cover the success? What are there new networks? Are there new projects? Do you have some numbers that you have a growing network of women in 3D printing? That you have some, some output where you can align your activities?
Yeah, so we basically have individual initiatives broken out by directives. So for diversity, equity, and inclusion, they have different deliverables. I think the last thing that we did was a report that we released quarterly that talks about closing the gender pay gap. Any kind of crucial data that we can capture, we try to. The challenge is whether or not a company is willing to release it. And so inviting companies to be a little more transparent about whether or not they are truly diverse, about how many women they employ, how many engineers they employ versus how many support
and the
staff.
Progress. It's hard to get numbers on the progress, I think.
Right. And so we have pilot programs that we are working on so that companies can not just say that they're diverse and say that they're employing women, but that we can actually see it and it could be a measurable response, and that we're tracking it closely. So definitely working on that. That's coming very, very soon.
Talking about diversity, Uli, we quickly chat before this meeting here, and you told me that it's getting more and more diverse in the construction industry, right? I mean, your own experience is that it's changing heavily, isn't it?
I'm super happy to have you here as partner in this talk. I'm really happy, and I also liked your introduction in the email chat which we had to prepare to this. I have to say, I'm coming from the built environment construction industry since hundreds of years, obviously men dominated. I clearly see a shift in the academic generation. The student numbers are kind of getting equal anyhow in the last 20, 30 years, but I also see in this academic stuff a change, which is super interesting. The 35, this already for sure is equal. The ones maybe it's a tenure tracker or a junior professor level, this comes equal. It's really interesting to see. And the good point of that is the teams get more diverse and the teams get more fair to each other, which is really interesting. That's really something which I appreciate. I'm representing here the technology guy for all the bits and pieces and the materials, fantastic. Which is fine. But I'm super happy to have you here because it's more about we develop a technology. There's something super new, and yes, we totally buy into this medicine things. We all believe in that, but we also totally buy into fashion because we all wear fashion. We totally buy into construction because we all have an idea of how we want to live. And now we develop something new. I'm happy with that because I'm an engineer, but do people like it? I don't know. And this is an interaction which I think is heavily needed, not only in 3D printing and other technologies as well, but heavily needed. And that's something which I really appreciate to have this setting. Also at Formnext have this setting.
And here you get the opinions if the people like it or not. People say it.
when we say go for larger research grants, 2 million, 5 million, something like this, we always have to think about how do we do valorization. And my typical way of valorization is, I have a scientific journal, I do scientific papers. Oh, I have a conference. What? Merchandising Beam conference today.
Yeah, we're talking about that
in a second. But the freaks go there, the colleagues, the friends, the ones which are already in love. But next level to really get this into mainstream use is to bring it to a different level of acceptance and a different level of people using it. And That's where say this kind of interaction is super important and boosts our industry next to all the fantastic technologies which we see. Really interesting need.
You just mentioned the Beam Symposium, so it's happening today. Tell us a little bit about the
merchandising block.
No, it's totally okay. But I would like to ask, because there you are again inside yourselves. Don't get me wrong, basically. So how do you? Let's talk a little bit about Beam, and then how do you gather the voice of the customer for your things?
Beam is a project developed by Oliver Tessmann and me. We both were new in TU Darmstadt, and we felt like we need to do something together. We were advised to communicate by a good colleague from Stuttgart, and we invented this built environment additive manufacturing activity, and was for my construction industry 10 years ago an entirely fresh and unexperienced field. How 3D printing of something, why should we do this? We can do it in a normal way. And this is going to be a lot more expensive. Of course, it's now expensive. So we started dealing with that. You start with a student workshop, you have them showing their bits and pieces. At a certain point, you're getting aware of colleagues joining to scan what's happening. That's the point. Yeah. And then they had this nice opportunity to talk to Formnext, and the opening to actually make it a proper event, a proper conference, which is running today. And it's interesting. I get clear comments from my colleagues that the lineup, the people we ask for presenting, that's really cool. They're really the top ones. They're really the ones which are doing things. And we also get applications from outside, which means, okay, it's now getting into our building environment construction market, and people see this. Next to this, super important for me, because we have to always touch things. It's where we live. There's this exhibition over there at the back of the concrete printer we talk about in a minute, which also increases in size, but also increases in size of the components. So the first generations, we had these small, little, unique things, print space, and now it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Interesting. That's one thing which pushes me a lot to this event. And the second thing which pushes me a lot, you're in a company which does this kind of laser sintering. This one, I'm not sure if the camera can get it. You just grab it somewhere because they have hundreds of. This is a giveaway. This is a metal laser sintered 3D printed giveaway. 5 years ago, when I've been here, it was mainly plastic. And you saw that shift from plastic to metal. And now you see the shift from plastic to metal to all other materials. And it's don't show the company, because I didn't ask. It's just the object itself.
They will know.
They will know.
They will.
But it's super interesting that you see this shift of technologies to different materials. And for my building industry, with say reliability of 50 years, this is something where we really see there's now technology change. And now I need you. Now I need to get it into the market. Lisa?
That's a good point. Lisa, before I ask Uli, question to you. I mean, are you recognizing the shift in the construction area? Have you seen the huge concrete printer over there?
I have not seen the huge concrete printer, but we have an office in Texas. And so there is a very large 3D printing company there that is doing houses. So usually you say additive manufacturing in the United States, no one knows what that is. You say 3D printing and they go, oh, you can do houses. It's like houses are the only thing we can make. So we're excited about them. We actually went, Formnext Austin, they went on a tour where they're actually able to go in and look at some of the builds. And what they've been able to do is astounding. And aesthetically, you know, I have to speak as the female representation on the stage. Aesthetically, they're just beautiful houses. They're gorgeous. So amazing.
But Uli, I was able, or was privileged to host several panels on construction over the last years, and I clearly could see the progress as an outsider. But let me know what is really going on.
It's getting thicker and thicker. The point is, I now see our, say, 3D printing environment at a shift from being the freaky one-offs, the super unitized, super single objects, which are, say, developing a certain performance, towards a more common technology and understanding that not everything needs to be printed. This is a 3D printed brick. It doesn't make sense to print every brick because they're done so fast in extrusion processes. But this one is a freeform one. You can't extrude them. So the specialized parts, that's what we learn now, are going to be printed, and not every piece. If you print a house, then the house has to have a special shape. If the house is a standard row house with the same systematic, you may print some subcomponents which are complex, but the building itself will stay in the say more standardized processes. And this shift is very clear to see. So the love to all the computers and all the digital tools and the digital object changes to, say, more professional, more proven technologies being used to approach our building industry in a broader range. And if we may do so, when we shifted to concrete printing 3-4 years ago, one company was able to give an offer on a concrete printed house. Now we see 2 hands. So it really changes and it really gets into the market. And typically for our construction market, budget is always the issue. So budget is always the point. So you have some very early bird, which don't care about budget, and you get nice objects. It's now also shifting that dimension. It's really interesting, and I'm super happy that, say, we're doing this since about 10 years, that I see this change of technology. I see this change of getting into the market. I also see the change of people running it. And now it needs to be adapted. So the people you talk to, 3D printing, yes, we can print a house. Well, I'm not sure if they would buy one. When they think about reliability and think about budgets, and that's, say, a next step which is going to happen to this industry. So in that respect, this panel is perfect.
So you see a lot of highlights, bringing me to you, Frank. I mean, we have seen the printer. It was funny to see yesterday because each half an hour it gave a really nice sound that was quite loud. So the construction feeling, let's put it that way.
And I was asked if we produced the sound because of some activity on stage. So I said, no, we didn't.
But let me ask you, I mean, you are around. Uli mentioned so many highlights in the construction area. Lisa mentioned so many highlights here happening at Formnext between the human beings here. So you are with your team of Formnext, you are all around the fair and getting these highlights. Is it feasible, by the way, to catch up all the highlights, or how do you do that?
Yeah, we are working on it, let's say. But maybe it's a good opportunity, your question, to give some kudos to our team. And I've prepared some behind the scenes for you all and for the audience, that you know who makes this happen. There are so many people. We are working with 20 people. They are behind the stage in a cavern, let's say, very dark and lonely behind us. But we need them to run all the stuff here on stage. And we have some mobile camera teams going along the exhibition and finding new aspects, finding new technology, and producing our news for the live stream, but we are producing for the exhibitors as well, so that they can show their news to the people, not during the fair, not only during the fair, but after the fair as well. So that is, I think, under the topic do good and talk about it. We have to do marketing. You know, you are talking about new aspects in construction, but you have to bring it to the people who you know, to the architects and so on, that they understand what we are doing here and that they see the opportunities and the USPs while printing a house with a totally new technology. And we all know it takes a generation to bring all these new technologies to the mind, and we don't have a generation time, so we have to be much more faster. And I think that is our job here, Sven, you and me, and the team behind us, that we transport all the news to the public.
So shall we have a look into the highlights, or?
We already had. They were running on the screen over there. Awesome. So you missed it, but I can show you after the work.
Thank you for that. That's why I had no screen. Okay.
Yeah. This screen is, you know, he's sleeping still.
Yes.
Great. Just to repeat it, everybody knows, tonight is the happy hour, Women in the Portal House. Who is invited? I must ask that.
Everyone is invited. I do know that we had, I think the last count was 250 spots, and yesterday it was at 245 to register for the event. So if you have not registered,
go ahead.
Go and register. All 5 of you are welcome.
Thank you for that.
We'll do everything in our power to make sure you can come, but we really want everyone to come.
Perfect.
For sure. Yes.
So the rest, the left 5 tickets are now
Gone.
open.
They are not gone.
All
It's-
5.
Gone.
This minute they are gone.
Uli, tell us exactly the time, the space, where does the Beam Symposium happening, and who's invited?
It's running right now.
It's already running?
It's running right now. So if you're here in Frankfurt, you're very welcome to
I'm
join.
going to come see you.
Again?
I'm going to come see you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to come see you as well.
Yes.
So invited. It's running right now. Right now, there's a colleague from Braunschweig presenting about 3D printing concrete. He's pretty much into this 3D printing concrete. And the follow-up one, which is presenting in, let's say, 5 minutes, kind of, he's in 3D printing in molding parts of concrete. He's from Graz, TU Graz, and actually they're getting a prize for the concrete printing technology to be adapted to floor slabs of buildings. So that's what's running right now, and we see a lot of varieties. It goes through all the different types of material, but it also addresses very intensively the aesthetic design value, the design values of this kind of activity. Running right now.
Sounds amazing. Good luck for the symposium, for you. Good luck for the happy hour. Thank you, Frank, for being our guest. Kind of guest today. So ladies and gentlemen, a lot of highlights to come. You see, you can be excited. For the ones that stay at the live stream, we will keep on going after our highlights. You will be welcomed by Frank Jablonski again and a fantastic expert insight from Siemens Digital Industries. So stay tuned. In about a few minutes, we keep on going here. See you there. Bye-bye.